And just start first with your overall thoughts on the draft.
I'm incredibly excited for our three guys with all the hard work and sacrifice that they put in over the course of their career here to, hear their names called in the first 48 picks is something that, I'm incredibly proud of our program and certainly proud for those three guys. Overall, I feel like we were very fortunate. They were able to get Bryce Miller back, and there was a couple of signees that we sweated through the last pick last night. But, all in all, I think it was a really good last couple of days for Texas A&M baseball.
Coach, what did it mean for you to have Asa go and be the highest drafted Aggie of all time and what he's been able to do in College Station?
Well, he gets all the credit for that. He's such an incredibly motivated young man and works so hard and wanting to be the very best at his craft. And, it's just nice that, he was able to, be the fourth overall pick. I'm just incredibly proud of all that he's accomplished during his time here. I think one of my biggest disappointments for the season is we didn't get a front row seat to seeing him pitch each and every Friday night. And
I wanted to ask you about that, Coach, with as much talent as you guys had on this year's squad and the guys that got drafted. Is it hard not to think what could have been?
Well, absolutely. And, not to get to play that out. I mean, three guys that go in the top 48 picks and just a great collection of talent around those guys that we didn't get to play the 10 weeks SEC and then get into the postseason to see if we wouldn't still be playing today.
Coach, with that, I think Thomas sent out the press release last night. Y'all were the only school to produce 3 top 50 picks. What does that do? I know you're obviously your program is well known already, but having a draft night like that and a draft weekend like that, what's that do for your program?
Well, I think it just, drives home the fact that we have one of the best recruiting coordinators in the country and Coach Seeley and, a coaching staff that's going to develop, guys the right way on the baseball field and a great support staff, and Jeremy Mellon, our strength coach, and Casey Meyer, our trainer. Those guys are fabulous and incredibly good. It takes a village to have a quality baseball program year in, year out. And, we certainly have a great staff surrounding our kids.
Both Asa and the guys, the GMs in Kansas City said that it was a mutual good fit between the two of them, not only baseball-wise, but just personality-wise. They said they talked to you a lot about that. Did you sense through those conversations that this could be a great place for him to land?
Certainly after the fact you do. And I think Asa does have a bit of a Midwest mentality, and, he's very humble, he's very hardworking, loves the outdoors, and it's going to be a great fit in the Midwest. I mean, he's certainly going into an organization that has some great young talent on the mound. I think they have a couple of kids from Florida that were hard to deal with for us in the league. And, he's going to be surrounded by a great support group and a great staff around him. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch that group move together throughout the minor leagues.
What do you make of Zach Deloatch, Coach? I know had a heck of a Cape Cod summer league and then started off red hot for you guys. I think led you in hits, runs, RBI, homers, and all that. What do you make of his hot bat, and can he take that up to the MLB?
For me, I'm probably most proud of him out of all three of the guys that were drafted for us. And you feel like, you look back at his career and, he got off to a great start as a freshman throughout non-conference. We got into conference play, struggled. They continued throughout his whole sophomore year. And this guy's got to deal with setback, adversity, look in the mirror. Can I play at this level? After his sophomore year, goes off to the Cape, establishes who he's supposed to be, what he is, owns his swing, he owns his routine. And then he comes back, and he's got all eyes on him based on what he did in the Cape. And, to accept that pressure and get off to a great start for 4 weeks, I just think it says a lot about who he is as a man. And, I think, like I said, I'm most proud of him and, dealing with all that, dealing with the adversity and handling the pressure to have the 4 weeks that he did and then to get rewarded last night by being picked by the Seattle Mariners is, I think it just drives home how he's handled things and it'll make him and his family proud too, and it should.
Coach, wanted to ask about Christian too. I mean, I know the ERA wasn't where he would have liked it to have been this year, but I know that his stuff, at least his intangibles, are there, and I guess that's what the Cincinnati Reds saw too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Christian has been as impactful on me as I hope I have been on him. He and I have a great relationship. Take baseball aside, and just our relationship's one that'll carry with me for a long time. But baseball is just what Christian does. It's not who he is. He's such a diverse young man, and is comfortable in a lot of different settings, and he's going to be a success for an awful long time. But here's a kid from Memorial that comes in, pitches very little as a freshman, was just determined to be a starter, and wasn't going to, that was not going to happen in his mind, and he forced himself in there by his performance. Had a great sophomore and junior year for us, was really good in the fall this past year, and I just think that guy's going to pitch in the big leagues, and when he's done, and he's going to be special after baseball as well, and everything that he chooses to do.
I know a lot of conversation about having only 5 rounds of the draft this year, and what that will do for baseball moving forward. From your perspective, what effects will that have on college baseball in the next year to a couple of years to come?
Well, it's going to be the next 2 or 3 years. When you talk about rosters and, the transfer portal sitting at 1,000 now, it's going to continue to climb here over the next week. And, the NCAA did come back, and very thankful that they gave everyone relief. They did come back and, give us, instead of 27 counters, 32, lifted the roster cap. But I do think at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of kids left without a place to play, albeit Division I, Division II, Division III junior college. I was very disappointed we didn't get any scholarship relief, and there was hope that we were going to get a couple extra scholarships for this year alone, but that was voted down. But to me, that's not a 1-year thing that you're going to see. It's going to be a 2 or 3 year residual effect for the kids, and those are the ones that that we're all in it for, but they are going to be the ones that feel the effects of this.
Speaking of that, Coach, what have your conversations with your seniors been like? I know you had a slew of them. Are you at liberty to discuss who's decided to come back, or are we still working through all that?
Right now, Mikey Honer, Hunter Coleman, and Ray Alejo are going to be the ones that return for us. A couple of guys are going to, one has got a construction management degree that he's finishing up. Jake Nelson had already graduated with a master's in real estate and had a job that he interned with the summer before. And so he's not going to come back. And then Cam Blake is not coming back as well. But those 3 guys that I mentioned are coming back, and we're excited to have them back from a, obviously an experience standpoint, but a leadership standpoint as well.
Coach, your thoughts on the NCAA and not the limit, the 35-player limit cap on rosters? Just your thoughts on that?
Well, it's going to provide some opportunities for guys that normally wouldn't have it. I mean, it's not going to be as bad as it could have been. But again, my hope was that we were going to get 2 additional scholarships for this year. And that's the disappointing thing. Every kid on every roster across the country is paying some part or all of his education right now. But not to have that help from a scholarship standpoint for this year with what's been created out of anyone's control, I'm disappointed. But, I'm thankful for the 32 that we can put on aid, and I am thankful that we don't have a roster cap right now, because I'm sure there's a lot of teams around the country that are going to have upwards of 50 guys or more when they start in the fall. For us, we're not in that situation right now and don't expect to be.
You feel like A&M's going to reload, as always?
Absolutely. That's what we do. I mean, certainly we lost 3, super impactful guys, but we've got such a great nucleus of experience coming back and a very talented class coming in. We're going to have a lot of older guys that are going to play every day offensively, and certainly a lot of experience back on the mound. And each guy will take a step forward, improve. And, but, the 21 team is going to be a super talented team as well. And we got off to a great start offensively, and we've got the bulk of that whole group coming back. So that's exciting. Certainly lost a couple of difference makers on the mound, but, we've got a lot of difference makers coming back as well. So I expect us to have a great year in 21.
All righty. Any more questions? Thanks and gig 'em, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys. Great to see all your faces.
Thanks, Coach.